You just hear
Wow.
just kind of the animals if they're there. Otherwise,
when you're driving from the outside, you don't realize that.
Yeah, it completely gets enveloped. No nose, right? And then we'll walk and go all the way to the center. You'll see a lot of beautiful buildings.
Wow.
But these are all the professional schools that exist. You know, School of Zoology, School of Economics, School of Mathematics.
Yeah.
All of these are all around these buildings that we see here.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is an immense history here.
There's a what?
There's an immense history at this institution
There is a lot
as well.
of history,
and sometimes, you know, for me at least, I feel that going to places that have a history, it makes me feel like I want to contribute a little bit to the history.
Exactly,
too,
exactly.
I still see that there's a value in going to or understanding places that have made high achievements and being able to study those methods, see if anything still applies in the modern day.
Yeah.
And applying that for us and ourselves.
And for sure, there's always application every single day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, and see, this is kind of the main
I mean, I've been to
quadrangle.
so many campuses, and this one is unique now. I mean, I went to the University of Massachusetts. I was impressed, but I think this is unique. And,
it's a beautiful time in the summer too. You see all the leaves, all the animals, all the chairs. You can just publicly sit out here, study all day. Yeah,
this promotes a lot of collaboration for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So do you know, say which one is zoology? I mean, do you know any of this? Because it's not easy to know, but...
there could be, I think there's a map somewhere in the center. We can find out what each thing is named for sure. Might be though. I'm quite unsure off the top of my head.
Yeah, we'll find out, but it's very impressive. Yeah.
But beautiful, you know, majestic libraries. These are old buildings, but every year new students come in.
Yeah.
It's for me, I really love, you know, things that have history to them.
Yeah.
And being able to see them physically and in real life. And
it's unbelievable that the architecture that people are building this many years ago, and with finesse and
it's a privilege to be here. That's how I feel. I feel very lucky every time I walk through.
I think it's a privilege for sure. It's a privilege. This is a great school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's remarkable. And there's a lot more still. This is just the main campus.
This is just this is why I like to do this. And if you're watching, just be amazed. They're just gonna be amazed at all these opportunities that are here, and that's why we do this, to be able to showcase and make people be able to see, be inspired. You can be here. If Dhruvil is here, I mean, he didn't start the other day, but he has worked his way up, to be able to be here, right?
Yeah. And just to with my dad and my mom, when they had the reason they moved so many countries, starting in Tanzania, then going to Australia, New Zealand, is they were building experiences to get enough points for their visa. One of the useful ways to get points, for example, was to learn French, because in Canada the national languages are English and French.
Yeah.
And Canadian French particular, but any kind of French. So my dad did learn French as well, enough to be able to get a certification for that.
He had to learn French?
He did. He wanted to have the best opportunities to get best chance to get his visa, but he also said he loved the language as well, which I think made it easier. But he knew that as much as he can do for his family, he wanted to, because he knew that in the West at that time, his belief was that there was a lot more opportunity available. And, me growing up in Canada and then coming to the United States, I feel exactly the same way. And over there, I believe there's a map. If you want to look at the other
yeah. I want to be able to trace your journey again at that point where your dad came to Canada.
Yes.
So, Dhruvil, when did your dad come to Canada?
Yeah, we all came together in 2002.
Oh, you came together?
Yes, in winter of 2002. December actually was my first time seeing snow.
202?
202.
So where did you land when you came to Canada?
We landed straight in Toronto, and then we had a family friend who had an apartment, and we lived there for about 3 to 4 months.
So you came with your mom as well, or you came with your dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me, my mom, and my dad, all three.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
then we
you remember the flight?
A little bit. At
you were really young that time. You're too young.
Very young at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, I still remember other flights where no security, you can just walk to the gate. Because we were flying 1998, 1999.
Yeah.
After the events of the century, things changed. And I still remember being able to just walk straight and go on a plane, come out. It was very, very different times. Yeah, but I guess like we came in 2002. We stayed in the greater Toronto area between 2002 2006. And mainly stayed in Scarborough, where I went to grade school there. Then now my mom was working at a fast food restaurant because but she needed to learn English, so this was a great practical way for her to do so. And my dad was using his diploma to work in an injection molding factory, which is essentially those machines that make the plastic water bottles. You have to inject hot plastic, so he was a technician for those machines and eventually a manager on the floor. But my dad, in his mind, he had this vision that, you know, it would be better if my wife and I can work together and control what we have. And so around 2006, he decided that, you know, we should actually look to see if we can own a business of ourselves. And so they ended up getting a franchise restaurant in Windsor, Ontario, which is 4 hours south. And so we moved to Windsor in 2000.
Closer to Detroit.
Exactly. 2006, I'm so sorry. We moved around into Windsor, closer to Detroit, and then I grew up there for grade school and high school. And in high school really is where I think...
Which high school did you go to?
Pardon?
Which high school was that?
I went to high school called Vincent Massey Secondary School.
Okay.
Now, the lucky part of that school was they had a program there called the Enriched Program. The Enriched Program is a little bit different, where it's similar to the advanced placement AP programs they have in the United States. But in Canada, they don't have many AP programs. This high school did. And in this high school, it was that if you did not know how to play sports, it was okay. But if you did not know your trigonometry, they would make fun of you. The academic...
You chose trigonometry? Or?
Well, what I'm basically saying is that the academic value was very high in that school. I think it pushed me to value those things. And I thank all the friends that I met along that way who, you know, I still know them. They come to my wedding. They came to my wedding, I'm sorry. Now they're all their own resident doctors as well. All of us growing up together, we really pushed each other.
It must have been a good school if, you know, you're mentioning your classmates being resident doctors as well.
I mean, I got very lucky with having those friends. But then I decided, you know, about undergraduate. Because in undergraduate...
before you go there, what's the name of your dad?
Oh, my dad, his name is Ashish Kumar Patel.
Ashish Kumar Patel.
And my mom's name is Jagruti Patel.
Could you say it again?
No. And my father's name is Ashish Kumar Patel, and my mother's name is Jagruti Patel.
We want to thank you so much for inspiring and bringing up Dhruvil Patel. I mean, we met at Wayne State University. Look at him now. You know, he's a resident doctor. I have a PhD in biochemistry, but I mean, this guy is going places, right?
The same way here. Come on.
This guy is going places. So if you are watching and you want to be inspired as well, I know, be inspired, you know, because, you know, thanks to good upbringing, it's possible to be able to do this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I see myself as more of a second generation. My dad and my mom, their first generation, they came here. But I think I was... like when I wanted to decide what undergraduate I wanted to go to, it was my dad who told me that, you know, you're the only child. It would be nice if you can stay at home so we can grow as a family together, but it's absolutely not necessary, you know, so what do you want to do? And
because I keep thinking, you know, when you mentioned that you guys started a business, a franchise, you know, your parents would have chosen for you just to be part of the business, right?
Yes. Well, that's a good thing for them to do, right? That was a good thing for me to do. It would have been very easy for me to go into the franchise, build the franchise. It's not something that is not worth it, by the way.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's a hard thing to do.
Skills,
a lot of skills, and you can live a good life.
And it's a base that was made for me, right? It's in a way, my parents have sacrificed 10 years to build that base. I could just as easily walk in and grow it
and move on.
And it would have been not easy for me to fail either because they already knew the business. But what they told me is that we're here in this country to try to think bigger. There are... The reason that this country and the West really, the opportunities that they're able to provide for you to explore and investigate and develop expertise in things that many other people don't have the opportunity to. A business is a place to do that, absolutely, but being able to develop such specialized skills in world-class institutions and centers is not available to everyone. So think about seeing if you're able to take advantage of that in some way. And that's really what drove me, because their main aim was to really teach me not to waste what I've been given. I've been given two parents, healthy parents. a healthy life. I don't have any disadvantages that I could think of.
Yeah.
Or if I do, they're not anything that hold me back, right? So then it's up to me, I feel, to make the most out of it. You know, even if, and what I see from my dad is he had many disadvantages. What I see from my mom is they had many disadvantages.
Of course, they grew up in India.
Yeah.
So
And
where do your parents come from in India?
Yeah, so both of my mom and my dad, they came from villages near city centers, and that's where they grew up for their formative years.
What's the name of those places?
My dad's village the village name was Ode, ODE.
ODE?
Yep, and my mom's village, her village name
Which province
was,
is that?
It's all in Gujarat.
Gujarat.
It's the westernmost state in India, kind of borders the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, and my mom's village, that was called Sunau. And both of those, they were very close to one city center called Anand.
Okay.
And then another city center called Vidyanagar. Now, Vidyanagar, it really stands for City of Knowledge. So that's where most of the universities in Gujarat actually are. So that's where both of them had ended up studying for their formative years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. There's that part of Saudi Arabia that is still in my mind because he eventually went to Saudi Arabia and he worked there for a year.
Yes.
And then when you talk of a culture of saving, you mentioned that he actually saved money to finance the wedding.
Yes.
You guys have been taught to be very frugal. That's a learning moment right there.
I agree. I will say I am not as frugal as my parents. I will say that. But I also think that they did not have the opportunity to be anything more than not frugal. And what I'm learning is that there are some areas where you have to place the expense to grow. You know, you have to place the expense behind tools that might able to help you do things faster, behind knowledge that might be able to open doors for you, between experiences that either you are trying to enjoy with your significant other or that you are trying to use to learn from a practical setting, or books that I really like. I really like to collect books. Those are going to give you ideas and connections that you might not have been able to develop on your own. Right, and
Speaking
so sometimes you need
books,
to spend something.
We'll have to talk about books in the next, part of this interview. So if you are watching, we are today talking to Dhruvil Patel. Actually, Dr. Dhruvil Patel is a resident doctor at the University of Chicago School of Medicine, if you like. I'm telling you, this is a great school, and he's going places. He's done 2 years. He's got 2 more years to go. Then he goes for fellowship. Then he goes for training. How long does it take? You have to be patient to be a real good doctor in the United States. But it can be done. Many people have done it. And he's destined for greatness. He's doing actually both pediatrics and
internal medicine.
And internal medicine. It's not an easy combination, I tell you. But, he speaks with a lot of, vigor, deep from his heart, courtesy of the upbringing from his parents, who came from India. He was actually born in India, and he's learned, a lot, not only from India, but from Canada, where he grew up, where he did his high school as well, right?
Yes.
We're going to talk about that in the next part, where you have to trace us, the exact schools you went to, particularly in the U.S., your life in Detroit, Michigan, and then at the School of Medicine, and then again you are in, oh my goodness. Stay tuned right here because you're going to be inspired. And if you're watching from India as well, look, this is Dhruvil Patel.
Thank you.
You can be Dr. Dhruvil Patel as well. See you in the next video.
Thank you.